Oh hello! This week on Heat Vision Breakdown, we look at why long gestating sequels such as Incredibles 2 and Finding Dory managed to be so good, and why films like Dumb and Dumber 2 and Zoolander 2, well, don't. It's a rare story in Hollywood these days. A standalone movie comes out without ambitions to launch a franchise or be part of a shared universe and resonates with audiences so much that fans beg for more. After years of being hounded, the studios finally pony up and give the fans what they want. And it's great! If you're Pixar. Not so much with everybody else. Way back in 1987, a simpler time before the MCU when there were only 3 Star Wars movies, none of which featured pod racing, Michael Douglas and Oliver Stone created the iconic character of Gordon Gekko in Wall Street, a film that captured the greed of an entire era, as well as those terrible blue dress shirts with white collars. 23 years later, Gekko returned, with Shia LaBeouf as a hotshot stock trader dating Gordon's daughter. The film tanked harder with critics than Enron's stock in 2001. Remember that reference, kids? With lame attempts to make Shia's character relevant to modern audiences. Oh neat, he likes green energy, so do I! And the most shoehorned Charlie Sheen cameo since he showed up in that one episode of The Big Bang Theory.
I'm gonna be in People magazine.
Yeah, call me when you're on the cover.
Waiting to make a sequel decades later doesn't generally work for blockbusters either. In 1996, Independence Day became arguably the most influential summer blockbuster since Star Wars and launched Will Smith as one of the biggest movie stars on the planet. Incidentally, I actually have an action figure of Will Smith buried somewhere in my mom's backyard. That's true. 20 years later, Independence Day, Resurgence, had none of the charm and none of the Will Smith, but it did have a giant alien golf ball and pure undistilled Goldblum, neither of which could save it at the box office. The original film pushed the boundaries of special effects, but the sequel set pieces were glaringly unambitious in a world dominated by Disney's Marvel and Star Wars machines. Oh, cool, a school bus. That's a great third act set piece. The comedy side has some of the worst offenders when it comes to long-gapped sequels. 2004's Anchorman, The Legend of Ron Burgundy was so universally, endlessly quotable that I swear to God, if I hear one more Brick Tamlin line, I'm gonna jump out a window.
I love Liam.
No! No! 9 years later, Anchorman 2, The Legend Continues, actually managed to out-earn the original, and it even got better reviews. But it had nowhere near the cultural impact of the first. Seriously, when was the last time you heard anyone reference Dobie the Shark or Chicken of the Cave?
Was that a bat?
Chicken of the Cave.
Zoolander 2 and the 2014 follow-up to Dumb and Dumber 2, but spelled wrong, fared even worse at the box office and with audiences, proving that their followings from years before had moved on. Even Blue Steel couldn't save them.
It's beautiful.
All the way on the other end of the spectrum, we have Pixar sequels like Finding Dory, which came out 13 years after the original film to rave reviews and massive box office success, and 2013's Monsters University, a sequel 12 years in the making which actually out-earned the original. Of course, there's also 2018's Incredibles 2, which took 14 years of loud fan begging to garner a sequel. When it comes to live action, the sci-fi realm might just have the best luck in this area. 1984's Terminator was a moderately budgeted film that worked thanks to its high concept, incredible script, and Arnold Schwarzenegger's pecs. Swoon. 7 years later, Terminator 2 literally redefined what a sci-fi movie can be and is still considered one of the greatest action movies of all time. 'Cause it is. Sci-fi is that kind of genre that just begs you to return to that world. Not only to see where it's gone in the intervening years, both in terms of the fictional world, hey, Skynet now makes Terminators that can turn into liquid metal, and in terms of our filmmaking capabilities. Hey, James Cameron can now make Terminators that turn into liquid metal. Way to go, James. In a drama, the passage of time can be depressing. Gordon Gekko is acting the same, but he's old. And the magic isn't there. In sci-fi, it's something to be embraced. In Blade Runner 2049, Rick Deckard is old, and he's living as a badass hermit in an abandoned hotel. And he has a dog, and he can beat up Ryan Gosling. That's awesome. Animation fares even better, as even if years pass for an actor, only months can pass in story time. The Incredibles 2 doesn't have to worry about his actors being older, except for the character of Dash, who they recast. What? Or having to concoct a story to make up for the years since we've last seen them. They can literally pick up whenever and wherever a filmmaker wants. That's the beauty of animation. I mean, Lisa Simpson's been 8 for like 30 years.
Happy birthday, Lisa.
What do you think? Do you want to see me working as an anchorman, living in an abandoned hotel, fighting Ryan Gosling on Wall Street in 20 years? Or should I just keep swimming? Let's talk all things sequels in the comments below.